So, welcome to Ask the VP, everybody. Today we welcome Aaron. Aaron, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have
Thanks for having me.
good to have you, mate. Good to have you. I'm looking forward to finding out a bit more about you and your VP and Assassin's Creed and all those bits and pieces. So, we'll run through the questions. We'll get some people to ask questions live at the end. So, let's crack on. So, I'm gonna start with one of the community questions actually because it made me laugh,
Oh
and you
no.
and you probably know which one it is. So we had a question from Nico. Why do you wear sunglasses so much? I had to start with that one. I saw that one come up and I thought, do we go with the serious question first or do we go with that question? So
it's literally just bad luck. Every picture I put up is generally when I'm outside in the sun, which only ever happens in the summer. Those like 3 weeks of a year we get.
that's when you take your profile pictures and they last you the rest of the year.
I actually have hardly any pictures of myself.
No, me
But
neither.
the
I
ones
don't look it. Don't like
I
taking
do
pictures
have.
of myself. Oh, bless him. I did think, why did he put that question? And yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. But
Yeah.
let's get down to business to the serious question. So you are well known for your Assassin's Creed portraits and your weekly VP articles for the ones who came before. But before we get all to that, can you tell me a little bit about how your VP journey started?
Well, it kind of started all the way back in 2014. That's when I first really started looking at taking shots. But there was nothing that had photo modes back then. I think it was Unity. I
Yeah,
was playing it co-op with my brother, and I thought, oh, these cities look really cool, and I was just like pressing the shoot button with the Xbox. Um,
were you doing that? Were you taking the HUD off and doing it, or just literally screenshotting the whole
literally
screen with the HUD?
screenshotting back then,
Yeah,
and then I remember doing that, and then I didn't really do anything then, probably until Horizon, which was what 2017, wasn't it?
yeah, that's 2017.
Yeah, and that was when I started taking a few pictures, and I remember when I completed the game and I took a picture, and then Gorilla liked it, and that was like the first time I'd had any sort of interaction.
Yeah,
Then Origins was later in the year, and that's probably when it kicked on for me.
yeah.
I
So
started doing like a few landscapes in Origins, but that was about it really. I didn't properly start until Valhalla, like you.
yeah, so you kind of dabbled a little bit, experimented, but then when the photo modes came a bit more mainstream, and in a few more games, especially with Valhalla.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was when I properly started looking into it and taking good shots, maybe.
So that must have been what 2020, wasn't it? The Valhalla came
Yeah,
out.
yeah, 2020. It was the end of 20. Yeah, November, wasn't it?
Yeah, so you've been doing it a while then.
Yeah, a little while now.
So you do post VP from other games, but your primary content is Assassin's Creed related shots. What is it that appeals to you about the AC franchise, and what keeps you coming back to capture the various games?
AC is probably just historical. Like Jack, I just love the historical side of it.
Hmm.
Um, I also like that the game's got quite a few different layers because you've got the modern day and now you've got the issue stuff as well, and as well as all the historical parts, which I find quite interesting. And I think that AC is always interesting because it's got multiple lead characters. Like
Yeah,
not every game is the same lead. Like if you had 20 games of Aloy, would you still be interested?
probably
Well,
not.
some people would, but
Yeah,
that
no, I get.
mixing
So
up
you,
the lead.
so you're a bit of a history nerd like Jack then.
Well, I didn't really do it at school because it didn't cover any topics I was interested in. But when AC came around, I was interested.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that at school they teach you the basics, don't they? And it's always the same thing about world wars and bits and pieces, and it's not
Yeah,
really, it's you either find it interesting or you don't. But yeah, no, I think that's really good thing you mentioned about the AC games is it is that historical part. And I think as much as we play them, I know some games get slated, Valhalla being too long and various other bits and pieces, but the work that goes into it from a historical point of view is immense, isn't it?
yeah, it is. And with the Discovery Tour they've added recently as well, teaching, and they use it in schools now as well. It's a really good tool.
I'd see. I didn't know. I hadn't tried Discovery Tour until probably about a month or so ago when Jack was talking about it because I've been shooting Origins, and I hadn't taken very many pictures of Cleopatra, and
Yeah,
hit Discovery Tour. You can play as the character. And I was like, what?
yeah.
I didn't know this. So yeah,
That's
that's
that,
really really
that's
good
how
part
I
of it.
bagged the shots of like Volker and stuff. I go to Discovery Tour.
But they haven't got that in Mirage, have they?
No, it's all in game, isn't it? The historical part, so you can't do it.
Mm.
It's annoying.
I mean, it might be something they add if it's been successful with all the other games.
Yeah, possible.
We're still waiting for that chromatic thingy update, aren't we? That was coming at the end of October that didn't happen.
Yeah, it annoys me, but I've got used to it now.
That's the thing. I mean, when you're playing a game and you're playing it like every day and you're looking at it all the time, you don't really notice it. I think it's just when you first play it, it's quite jarring when you do see it.
Yeah, I guess they have it in Call of Duty. Really annoys me in there as well.
Yeah, I wonder why they have it on so much in the games. Why? I mean, maybe it setting in Baghdad, which is potentially hot and deserts, maybe to give that kind of not mirage effect. That's probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean when it's hot and things have a
Yeah,
slight haze to them. So yeah, it could potentially, but yeah, the ability to switch on and off would be good, especially for photo mode to make things pop a bit better.
yeah, definitely.
So for the uninitiated, you are a member of the Ones Who Came Before fan community,
Yep.
and you write a weekly article about AC related virtual photography. Can you tell us what the Ones Who Came Before is and how being part of the team and writing your VP articles came about?
All right, it's Cole's baby, really. I
Yes.
think he started it up over 10 years ago now, and he's grown it just organically, just over that time. Was he over 30K now
Yeah, yeah,
on Twitter, which is really good. Um, but it really is just a place for passionate AC fans. Um, he's got the Issue Network, which he set up a few years ago now, which is like his partnership program, which is what I'm part of, and yourself.
yeah,
And that's just to help new people get a foothold. We produce content that he uses, but then he boosts us as well. And it
yeah,
clearly works. I mean, when I started out, I was probably like 90, 100 followers, and I just
mm,
hit 1K, didn't I, recently?
yeah.
And that's partly due to the exposure I've got through being with Cole.
And that's the good thing. I think that's what I noticed when we had that initial chat with Carl is, coming on board to obviously be part of the VP team for the Ones Who Came Before. Is I was really taken back when he started talking about the program because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
When I've worked for a few community pages and obviously worked for TPM, and you go and you do your bits and pieces, that kind of thing. But he was so passionate about this program of, yeah, we're here to, help with the VP and that kind of thing, but we're also here to help you. So that part of giving back to the people who are contributing is absolutely brilliant.
yeah, it works really well.
And I've not really seen that anywhere before. So you can see why obviously so many passionate people are part of the team, and also why lots of people do follow it. They're parts of they're fans of the community. It's just so well put together, thought about, and it is for the fans, isn't it? Everything
Yeah.
about it for the fans.
And there's multiple sections, isn't there? There's our VP section, but then there's the writing section, the law section, the art section. There's so many different parts to it.
Exactly, and I mean, credit to Carl for what he's put together and how it's grown. Absolutely brilliant. And I mean, how did your writing the VP articles come about when you're working for them? Is it something you were just thinking of and put it to Carl and he said, "Yeah, let's do it"?
No,
How did that come
no,
about?
that didn't. So when I joined as a guide writer. So I was writing guides to how to do stuff in Valhalla.
Mm,
Massive time sink, though that was. It took me
yeah,
ages, and I'll be playing the game, taking photos of where stuff is in the game, and it was just taking me so long. And then um, um, my daughter was born, and time just started drifting away from me. So I thought I don't want to leave. I want to do something else.
yeah,
So he had it archived, the VP. So it was the VP was done by Gustav, who does a lot of musical stuff for the ones that came before now.
mm,
Um, he stopped doing it, and then Kev Sony Benkev, was part of the ones that came before for a while. So he did a couple of articles, and then it was just archived. And then Cole was like, "Well, why don't you start this back up?" And that's when I did.
And you've got over 100 now, haven't you?
Yeah, well, we're almost at 100. I think we're on 93, is it? 93, 94 next week.
Oh, not many to go then. And it's, that's dedication, man. A week, every week to do
Some weeks are
that.
easier than others.
Yeah. But I think the thing is, though, I think why lots of people love getting involved in it is number one, obviously, it's exposure. People like to be picked, like to be seen, what people like about the pictures. But I think it's also your passion with it, mate. You literally do it every week, and you don't just write a sentence or so about a picture. You write a lot about the pictures and go into depth why you like it, and that's a really good thing, especially for VPs. We're not. Some of us aren't the most confident of people. So to hear the feedback, I mean, that's the good thing about it. You're not just picking shots and putting it on there. You're saying what you like about it and with feedback.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
try
with that,
not to get too technical with it or anything like that. Just like it's basically what comes to my head when I'm writing it.
so you wing it basically.
Yeah, that's the best way for me, really.
That thing is the best thing. And I mean, I know the first time I was in it, I was absolutely stoked. Absolutely stoked. I think it's a really good thing, and especially for not just Assassin's Creed VP, but the VP as a whole. The fact that you're taking the time to do that is absolutely brilliant, mate. Credit to you.
Yeah, thank you.
So obviously, being the leader of the VP team at AC First Civ, or the ones that came before, and being part of the team has led you to be involved in some rather cool charity and historical events, which obviously we know you like the historical part. Can you tell us a bit more about the charity events you've been involved in and the historical, was it 878 AD Winchester event you were part of? Just tell us
Yeah.
a bit more about what bits you get involved with outside of, say, the socials.
Well, the ones came before usually run a yearly charity event, but it changes who we do it for each year. So it's always like an Assassins in Need event. I've done 2 with them. We have a target of money, try and raise it and give it to charity, just through various things like sales or VP competitions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then last year I did the Assassin's Creed Community Relief one, but that was more of a whole AC community event.
Mm.
That was for the earthquake in Turkey.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And I wasn't like a major part in it. I was a judge on the VP section.
Yeah.
I did it with scholars and there's quite a few people. And I just had to pick people's shots as part of the competition.
Yeah.
Um,
The thing is, I mean, like we were saying earlier about what's been put together, it's not just a page on a social platform. The fact that charity events are being put on and money's being raised for good causes.
yeah, loads of
Not
money's been raised really over the years.
exactly, and that's absolutely brilliant. And what was the 878 AD Winchester event?
Oh, that was super cool for me. Obviously, being a Valhalla fan and stuff. So I found out there was Ubisoft opened a Valhalla event in Winchester because
Yeah.
obviously it links to the parts in the game. So I contacted them and said that I was with the ones that came before, and they invited me along as a guest.
Cool.
So I got to go along, see the thing, and then I wrote a review for them as well, which we posted. It was such a cool event. Inside the building, it was like the Discovery Tour, basically.
Yeah.
There's those of like interacting inside. The quality of the interaction stuff inside was really high.
Yeah.
And like the boarding and stuff. One thing I always said to Jack that they should have done in there is put people's VP shots up.
I thought you were going to say they should have put lots of pots in there.
Yeah.
Jack would have loved that.
And there's also like actors in there, like proper actors, and they were in character the whole time you're in there. Usually I don't go for that sort of stuff, but they were pretty good.
Yeah.
That was some good banter with them.
Cool. That sounds awesome, man.
And then you go around the city after you've finished, and you have like an app on your phone, and then you scan bits of the city, and then it's interactive on your phone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. And to go as like a representative for Cole was pretty cool as well.
Yeah. You're going to have to give me the contact details if you speak to Ubisoft.
No, that was cultural heritage I spoke to.
Ah,
So Ubisoft ran it with the Cultural Trust of Winchester.
so are you from the Winchester area?
No,
Uh,
it's about 2 hours away from me.
see, that's literally about 20 minutes for me.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
don't
the
know.
time we spoke, and you said, "Oh yeah, I'm really close to that."
Yeah. Oh, that sounds really good, man. Really good. So obviously we've established you love Assassin's Creed, but the important questions are: what is your favorite Assassin's Creed game to play, and what is your favorite Assassin's Creed game to capture?
Can't I just say no comment on this one?
You can't say no comment. Come on. That'd be a pretty boring interview if you said no comment to these questions, wouldn't
I'm gonna get absolutely slated. Um, Valhalla's my favorite, obviously, because of time periods, Eivor, and yeah, I just love playing Valhalla. But Valhalla's not an Assassin's game, is it?
Well, technically
There,
it is.
there's assassins in it, but Eivor's not an assassin.
No, no. I can just. I'm waiting to see Philip's name disappear because you said you love Valhalla.
Yeah, this is what I was. I can see his face there. So, um,
So,
but
what is it
I
about
do, I
Valhalla
do,
that makes it? What is
I
it
do
about
like it.
Valhalla that makes it your favourite, mate?
I just because I like the time period. I think I
Yeah,
love Eivor as a character. Both versions, both the male and female, are so good.
yeah,
Um, and I love the time period as well. So that kind of makes it for me. But
mm,
I do have a special place for Origins.
yeah,
I thought Bayek was such a good character, and it was such a beautiful game as well because it just changed the pace of Assassin's Creed, didn't it? Because we were in the same style for so long.
yeah.
Um, but if you want to go classic, I'll still get berated for that as well because probably my favorite classic one is Unity.
Unity got a lot of slating, didn't it?
I
Unity
know.
got a lot of slating. I loved Unity. Absolutely loved it. The setting was amazing.
Yeah, the city was amazing. The only negative I had for Unity was probably Arno wasn't very strong as a character,
No, no.
but the rest of the game is brilliant. I love the parkour in it as well.
Yeah. And it's nice to see with Mirage, they're going back to a bit more of that sort of stuff, aren't they?
Yeah, I think I like how they did Mirage so far. It's like blending the two styles. Something for them to work on in the future.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, I do agree with you that Bayek, for me, as a character, is probably a standout.
Mm.
I mean, let's not forget Ezio of the originals and stuff. You know, he was brilliant. But I think in the more current games, Bayek was absolutely brilliant.
I love Ezio. He's brilliant, obviously, but
Mm.
he's a little bit more flamboyant, isn't he? And I quite like more the harshness of Bayek.
Yeah. And what do you think of Basim?
I hated Basim in Valhalla,
I know
but
you love him.
I like the character now. Now I know more about him. I do like him. But yeah, in Valhalla, when you got that option to punch him, I 100% did.
I mean, I'll be honest. I never finished Valhalla. Um,
What?
well, it's so bloody long. I think I kind of done all of the all of the missions to get people on your side and all that sort of stuff. And I thought, oh, is that it? And there was like another one to do up north, and I was doing that. I was like, all I want is Thor's hammer. Jeez, and it was taking so long. So I never finished it and never saw how it ended.
Oh wow! But then
I mean,
Thor's hammer's
obviously,
annoying because you get it at the end of the game, and then there's no new game plus, so you can't use
yeah.
it.
I mean, obviously, I know what happened in the end because I've just googled it and looked it on
Yeah,
YouTube. But yeah,
I'm on
um,
run through number two now.
pardon.
I'm on run through number two.
Well, I started run through number two when I got my PS5. I've got it again because I was on Xbox before.
Yeah, same. I did
Um,
exactly the same.
so I've started it, but I'm annoyed that I've not got all my tattoos or my hairstyles
Mm.
and all of that. So yeah, play through number two, get it all again. I've got to finish Mirage yet. I haven't finished Mirage yet.
No, not have I. It takes me ages to finish a game.
Me too. With Dad game, and it does. You get a couple of
Yeah,
hours, don't you?
yeah,
And now with Spider Man, I've got no time for anything apart from Spider Man at the moment.
yeah. It's
Um,
that bit in it.
So, got a question from Troy now from X. There's a lot of debate about what style of game is better in AC. So we know you love Valhalla as a game, the setting, that kind of thing. and we've touched on going back to the roots with Mirage. There's a lot of debate around the style, which style of AC is better, the bigger games, the more concise, smaller, like Mirage Back to the Roots. Troy prefers the big open worlds, and we know you like Valhalla, but putting the setting aside, what style do you prefer? The big, large open worlds to explore, like the newer trilogy, or the smaller, more concise ones?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, 'cause I like both. There's no one I don't preference either. Really, I suppose with the RPGs they go on longer.
Hmm.
So like the older games, you'd finish them really quickly, and then maybe play them a second time, and then that'd be it gone. Whereas you could be playing the other ones for a year or more, 2 years if
Yeah.
you're a dad.
Yeah, so a bit more longevity to the games.
Yeah, I'd be happy if that Ubisoft going forward did RPG, then like a Mirage style one, and rotate it.
Yeah,
That would be my preference. If they could do that, I'd be happy. Like the next one is Red, isn't it?
yeah.
And that's going to be another big RPG one.
And I suppose that from a VP point of view, if you look at, let's say, Valhalla, because we both like Valhalla, against Mirage, I love Mirage. I love the setting. City of Baghdad is amazing. I suppose what you get with Valhalla is you get the different biomes, don't you? One county might be really lush and green,
Yeah,
and then you go up north where you've got snow and all that kind of thing. And I know there's a small part of that in Mirage where you've got like the palm trees and desert on its own, and then the city. But it's all kind of one color palette, isn't it?
yeah. You do get the variety with the bigger open worlds. But then
Yeah,
I love like Unity's just one city and it looks amazing.
yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I don't think I could pick because I just love them all really.
I'll let you off with
Um,
that one. I'll let you have that one as a no answer, but that's the last one you get in.
I'd have to say RPG, wouldn't I, if I had to pick?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'll say RPG Big World. Perfect. So we've got a question from Philip now. So Philip says, "What's the one game that doesn't have a PM that you wish got one?"
Uh, ooh.
Would
Unity. I'd love to go back and do Unity with PM.
Yeah. Anything non-Assassin's Creed?
Non Assassin's Creed. Um, Maybe Call of Duty
Yeah, yeah.
because
Because I
the
mean,
game's so cinematic, but and I always see like, and it's got quite good lighting. And when I'm playing through the story, I always think, oh, it'd be great now if I could just stop this and ping around. I see some people post shots from it, which they must be PC and using tools or something.
yeah,
It
yeah.
looks really cool.
Because wasn't part of the last game based in Holland? Because I saw a lot of people taking like pictures of bikes next
Yes.
to
Oh
a
yeah,
river.
they had an Amsterdam level, and it was so
Yeah,
so good. And yeah, I'd love to have just like gone into a camera and taken some shots around.
I'm
But yeah,
surprised.
you can't do it.
I'm surprised that franchise hasn't done it sooner. Because obviously it's quite a big franchise. There's a big call for it. I'm quite surprised they haven't implemented that yet.
Yeah, I like an old game. I'd love to get a photo mode in. Would be Rise of the Tomb Raider. I love that game, but it doesn't have PM. I don't think
Which one was that? That
the
was
one before Shadow. Shadow had a PM, but I don't think Rise had one.
I think you.
I
Yeah,
think
no, I don't think you did.
Rise is one of the games I just always replay as well.
Yeah, I can't wait for a new Tomb Raider game. I like those games.
Yeah, me too.
But that leads nicely into our next question. So let's talk about other games apart from Assassin's Creed. What's your all-time top three?
Do
And
I have to,
you,
do I have
you
to
know,
pick specific games?
well, it's kind of the definitive thing of a top three question. So,
I always categorize it like AC as a whole.
mate, you can include AC or non-AC games.
All right,
I'll
so
let
AC is obviously top. Everyone knows that.
Yeah,
My second favorite game of all time is easily Ghost of Tsushima.
yeah,
Um, and then third, I'd probably say is Spidey because I love the Arkham trilogy, or
mm,
actually all four of them.
yeah.
Origin, even though I could never finish Origins. I love those so much, and I just feel like Insomniac looked at those games and then just made them better with Spidey.
Yeah. You can't touch them, can you, on superhero games?
Nah, and this is because the Batman games are so old now. They still hold up quite well, but need another one.
We do, and I mean that's what again, like you were saying, I love about Spidey is the combat in the Arkham games was brilliant,
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant, and they kind of taken things from that here. It'll be really interesting to see what they do with Wolverine.
yeah. Whether they go down that route a bit more, because Spidey's a bit more happy, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean the combat from Arkham and Spidey would translate well into Wolverine.
Yeah, I am quite excited for that one.
I can't remember the last Wolverine game I played.
They did the movie tie-in one, didn't they?
They did, and I think the combat was a little bit like that. But yeah, no, I'm really interested to see what they do for that. No, that's good. That's a good top three, mate. Good top three. So let's talk about your VP. So you seem to have found your style in portraiture. What draws you to this style, and where do you find your inspiration?
So when I started out, I've always liked taking pictures of the main character. But when I
Mm.
started out, I'd do like landscape pictures, and the character would be there. Um, the moment I changed to doing proper portraits was when I did an article and featured you.
Oh, stop it! Come on, you
It
can't
was,
flash for the interviewer, can you? Come on.
it was. That was when I was like, "This is really cool." This shot. I think it was a Dawn of Ragnarok one. I think you did with like loads of sparks in the background.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, it was that one. I was like, "Oh, such a cool shot. I wish I could do that." And I remember messaging you, and I was like getting tips, and you were telling me how to get the camera so that like he looks down it and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
And it was then that I just like switched and like, well, why have I never done this before? And then I just carried on messing around with it, and then well, the rest is history. And I just always do those.
Oh, thanks for that, buddy.
But yeah,
If
I didn't actually do a. I never tilted the camera until that moment.
The thing is, that's like we said on a couple of these interviews, is you kind of you do your own thing, then you see something you like, then reach out about it. Ask the question, how do you do that? How do you put those flashes of light in there? How do you get that angle? And you now know, and you've decided that's what you want to do with your pictures.
Yeah. So I've been doing other bits now, I'm trying to do different stuff rather than portraits all the time. But I always go back to that because it's my favourite.
It's so difficult, isn't it? If you're so used to taking like the 4x3 portrait shots, and then you think, oh, I'll tell you what, I'll take a few landscapes and do a set. It feels so alien,
Yeah, but I'm starting to
doesn't
get
it?
used to it because I keep forcing myself to do it.
Yeah.
Because I like doing the story stuff
Mm.
now. So I try and build a story out of what I do.
Yeah.
So that forces me to do loads of different styles rather than just doing portrait all the time.
Yeah.
But
No, definitely.
my favorite is Photo Mode Monday because then I can just always put a portrait out.
Yeah. Definitely, definitely. I found that Origins was really, like you said about, so I found Origins was really easy to do sets, and I think for Origins I've predominantly done sets.
Yeah,
But and
you can't tilt the camera, can you?
no, you can't. 40. Who puts 45 degrees in a photo mode?
I spoke to them about it when they were doing the patch when they did the 60 FPS patch. I spoke to them about it and tried to get them to put a 90-degree in.
And I didn't.
They didn't do it. No.
You didn't sell it to him enough, mate. You didn't sell
No.
it to him enough.
Like, who's this guy trying to tell us what we're doing?
Yeah, come on, we made the game. Don't tell us what to do. But yeah, mate, your portrait. I know we obviously had that conversation, and that was ages ago now, wasn't
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it? Um,
Don't know.
your portraits are awesome, mate. Really awesome.
Thank you.
Do some really good work on those. I'm glad that I could have been an inspiration to you. Do you find inspiration? Do you find inspiration in other things? I mean, obviously, you're saying that about inspiring into doing portraits, but do you take any inspiration from, movies, music, or anything else with your shots?
Well, most of my inspiration probably comes just by looking through each day at people's stuff
Yeah,
because I'm flicking through for the articles anyway. And because I'm playing Spidey now, loads of Spidey stuff keeps coming up on my feed, so I get to see what different people are doing. So I get inspired mostly by the community. My
Mm.
Valhalla stuff is massively inspired by the Last Kingdom TV series.
Mm.
That is, yeah, basically every shot I take is inspired by that in that game.
And what made you with your VP? Because you nearly every shot that you take and you post, there's a quote. What made you
I
just,
just love quotes.
yeah.
And I'm weird. And I've got to a point now where I sit there sometimes with a pen and pencil next to me and I'll write them down as I watch shows. And that's a good one. I use that. Some of them I just remember, and then some I just have in the notepad just in case.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, things so it adds to the shot rather than just
Yeah.
putting the name on there.
But it's that story element again that I'm trying to get across. I don't know why I
Mm.
do this though, because like you can get a good story element in 3 or 4 shots in one moment. You think, oh yeah, that's quite cool. But no one ever looks through all my VP catalog for that game, so no one's seeing the whole story of the game.
Yeah.
I did speak to Pick a Shot a while ago, and I was trying to ask them if they could do it so we could rearrange the order of our shots that we put on there,
Yeah.
so I could then just transfer them around and create that. But they said they were looking into it, but they haven't done it yet.
See, I haven't used Pick a Shot for ages.
No,
I
it's
need
just somewhere where I can do it, but
yeah.
I don't know where else to put them, so I can put them all together and then create that story. So you could look at the Valhalla folder and then go, that's the whole of Valhalla's story.
Yeah. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. We'll think on it. See what we can sort out. So your style's predominantly portraiture. We've got a question from Churid.
Oh no.
I had several questions to choose from. So I went with what's a VP style you like, but you don't shoot yourself?
Minimal.
Yeah.
Lots of people like minimal. I do. I always look at it and think it's so cool, but I'm like, I can't do that.
Why not? What's holding you back?
I don't know. I try and do it, and I'm like, I don't really like it. Not sure that's good enough. I've done a couple recently because Malin got me doing it,
Hmm.
but yeah, I need to work on that because I do really enjoy it, but would love to do more of it.
So have you reached out to any minimal experts to give you any tips?
No, not yet.
I think that it's well worth doing. If it's something you want to explore, it's definitely worth reaching out. There's loads of VPs that specialize in minimal, and I sometimes find if you look at a minimal shot, there's got hardly anything to it. Not from a substance point of view, obviously minimal being the operative word. The fact that that can convey the same feeling and emotion of a shot with, say, a really emotive character or something like that. I find it really powerful that they can do that with such a minimal approach.
Yeah.
We need to find the minimal. We need to find a minimal expert and ask them for some tips.
Yeah, I will try. I will try and do some more. I did a couple. I've done a Mirage one, but I
Yeah.
didn't do it on my own. Malin pretty much did the work, I reckon.
Uh, but did you post it on your account?
Yeah, with the
Oh,
credit.
come on. You
With the
can't get
credit.
Malin to do most of the work and then you post it.
I promise to get better.
It mate, practice, 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 practice. That's all it is. So minimal is something you don't shoot yourself, but you like to have a bit more of a go of it. Just Games asks, what is the most challenging thing for you in VP?
Most challenging thing is the shot looking so good on the television, and then it goes on my phone and doesn't look very good.
I hear you. I hear you on that one.
I'm like, wow, that's so good, and then I get loaded up my phone and go, oh, it's rubbish.
We've had this conversation a couple of times and trying to get both screens displaying the same. Because obviously, if you've got a 4K TV and it's on a dynamic setting, everything's popping, it looks amazing. It's not going to look like that on your phone.
No,
But
I've
then when
got
you,
I've got hacks.
yeah,
I've got
what's your
hacks.
hack?
Obviously only AC because that's what I do the most. But so on my Xbox, I have to do exposure. The exposure
Mm,
has to be 45, so it looks dark and horrible on your screen. Comes onto
mm.
the phone, looks magnificent. And then,
Oh,
but if I'm on the PlayStation, it's the opposite. You have to go to like 55 or 60 for exposure, so it's stupidly bright. And you put it on your
yeah.
phone, it looks really good.
Oh, yeah. See, that messes with my head.
Yeah, so you're basically looking like a worse shot on your screen, but on your phone. It looks good.
I'll have to give it a try. Because there's so many different settings on the TVs, isn't there? You got the dynamic one which makes it pop, but then if you do put it on one that doesn't make it pop, thinking, oh, it's going to look a bit more realistic to what my shot's going to look like. When you're playing the game, it just looks a bit ropey, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I because I love gaming first before VP. I
Mm.
actually don't change my settings to benefit VP.
Ah.
So like some people play in the 30 FPS mode, so they get better quality, don't they, of the shot?
Yeah,
But I don't. I play in 60 FPS, so I have that slightly less quality because I loved gaming before I loved VP.
yeah.
So I still play the game rather than. But Spidey switches, doesn't it, for you?
It does switch for you, and you can also super slow it down, can't you?
Yeah, but no,
So
don't do they?
I've got 30% game speed set as my right hand shortcut,
Oh yeah,
which because I'm really crap at gaming, it helps me out in the boss battles in Spider-Man, even though Cynthia tells me they're not that hard. I put it on if I keep getting beaten, I just put on 30% speed, so it's just going nice and slow. I can see everything coming, and also for VP, it slows down the animation of everything. So if you're trying to get a specific shot, slowing it down to 30% game speed, you can hit it at the right moment you want to get the shot.
yeah, and that's why we're dying. We're actually really good at boss battles. We're just dying because we're trying to get pictures.
Yeah. Well, the thing, I mean, you're saying you obviously predominantly gaming first, and as you know, I was predominantly a gamer, but I've kind of transitioned into, as horrible as it sounds, if a game hasn't got a photo mode in it, it's very rare that I will go out of my way to buy it and play it. Baldur's Gate 3, completely separate thing. That hasn't got a PM, but I bought that and it was amazing.
I refuse to play that game until it puts PM in it, much to some people's
Oh,
dissatisfaction.
it does need a PM because it's beautiful. The characters are beautiful, but I do find that most of the games I play, they all have a photo mode. And if a game doesn't have a photo mode, I might play it, but then I find myself wanting to go back to a game which has got a photo mode, which is
Yeah,
sad because I love gaming.
yeah, but I suppose I am in some ways. Like when I bought Ragnarok when it first came out, it arrived, and I was so excited to play it, and then they didn't have PM straight away, did it? No,
No.
it didn't. And I was like, oh, I'm not playing it then. So I installed it and then just didn't play it until they put the PM in it. That's why I'm still playing it now.
Yeah. Oh man, because it was a stupid level as well. You had to be to start playing that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That that
So,
that was the, that was the only thing of Valhalla that you had to be certain levels to do the
oh no,
DLC.
it's the God of War Ragnarok.
Ah, see.
Yeah, that one.
Let's not even. We're not even going to go into a conversation about the PM and God of War Ragnarok. I've got myself in trouble so many times.
I
But
know it's
then,
not. I know it's not the best, but I've actually grown into it and enjoy it, even though it's so basic.
I don't think. I mean, the range is an issue.
Yeah,
But the thing that annoys me the most is when you've got the UI of the adjusters over the image, so you can't see the image you're trying to adjust. So let's say you're trying to do your depth of field, you can't change the depth of field without having the UI on, can you?
no, you can't.
So if you're taking a picture and the thing you want to get into focus is behind that UI, it makes it very difficult to
Yeah,
set. But hey, we're not going to get into that conversation. It's a good. I haven't finished the game yet either, so you
no,
might spoil it
I'm
for me.
still working for it slowly.
So when you open a photo mode in game, what's the first go-to setting you always use, and what settings do you never use?
Well, different games have different bits, don't they? I'm
Mm,
quite systematic, so I generally work with what's straight in front of me.
yeah,
Um, like AC, I'll just go straight into photo mode, and it'll be zooming in and out, finding the position I want, depth of field, and then obviously exposure because of what we spoke about earlier.
yeah,
And then I just crack on then. So it's those three really first. But I've been learning in Spider-Man recently that I need to do my lights before I start moving my camera
yes.
because I get my camera all spun how I wanted it, and then I'll be trying to do the lights, and I can't find the light.
Yeah. It goes against every grain, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Composition is generally what you would use first in a shot, but the fact that you have to get the lighting right first. But then they have added in there that you can move the camera now, can't you, in the lighting without affecting the lighting.
yeah.
So you can set it up first, then do the lighting and move the camera to find the lights.
I got a little bit of practice on Jedi Survivor with that.
Mm.
That helped a little bit, and I'm still learning the free lighting thing.
The thing is, I think because there's some really, really good Spidey VPs out there who've literally got that down to an art. And even when Jedi Survivor came out, I know that various people done things, and I know Mick at Fourth Focus done an article on it. It's if you haven't used the three lighting thing before, it's kind of a bit overwhelming, isn't it, to start off with?
Really is, but watching like the videos helps.
Definitely. And I think it was in Mick's article the fact that photo mode. So this week he posted it. That I find it really helpful to watch those videos.
Yeah,
And the fact that more and more people, I know Sun OG's doing it, I know Evo does it, more and more people are doing those videos showing how they do it. And that to me is really useful compared to just reading it.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I found it helps.
So we
What do
need
I not?
more of those videos.
What do I not use? Frames,
Who uses frames?
frames. Bloom as well. Never use that.
Yeah, I mean, Bloom, I suppose in AC, sometimes you can, if it's on, you can reduce it, can't you?
Yeah, I play around. I don't use the same settings every time though. It depends.
No.
I'm happy.
Do you use the filters in game or the stickers in game?
Never stickers. I do use filters occasionally if I think
Mm,
it adds to it. I don't always look at it. If I'm happy with the shot, then I won't use it. But if I think, oh, that might look cool if I change the color,
yeah.
then I'll use the filter. Like the um, God of War's actually got quite a few nice ones.
Yeah.
Like
So
the black and white trick in that game, and then make it black and white, and then slowly increase the saturation.
yeah,
Get some good results.
I'll have to give that a go. I do need to go back to that game at some point. So do you plan your shots or do you snap as you go? And does this change if you're shooting for a competition entry or anything?
I never plan anything. I just play the story and let the moments just come up. So like sometimes I think, oh, I've not taken a shot, but I was like, well, the story will just keep progressing and stuff will happen, and then I'll be like, oh, that would be a good shot, and I just
Yeah,
let it happen like that. Sometimes I'll play a session and then not take anything, and then
yeah.
sometimes I'll probably take 5 or 6, and then my Xbox is moaning at me for storage running out.
And that's obviously day-to-day gaming. If you are looking at like whether it's the AC themes that run or any other VP competitions, do you do the same thing, or do you then think about what you're shooting for that competition?
No, I don't really enter too many competitions. I probably would never go on and specifically shoot for a competition. I pick
Yeah.
something out of my back catalogue and post it
So
usually.
so you say you don't enter many competitions, but you have won two VP competitions. You won the Slow Cap Seafood VP competition and the Path to Mirage VP contest. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that? And obviously, you're saying that you rated your archives, but how did you choose what shots you wanted to enter?
So like those two, even though I'm a winner, I wasn't actually first place. So boo, I've never been first place. But it's still won stuff. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Sifu is just such a good game, and the photo mode in it is really good.
Mm,
I can't rate that game highly enough. It was such a joy to play, and they did a little competition when it just released, and I had taken quite a few shots in it.
mm,
So I don't know, I just picked my favourite one. I think it was the guy was walking into the room and it was like a silhouette, and then you have like this gold chain on your side, which is your lives, and then it was just
mm.
like the saturation was up on that, so it was him all in dark, and then that all gold, and then the villain was like at the other end of the room looking at a map, and it was almost like the fight's about to kick off. That was
Oh,
the shot that won. Um,
And what did
Yeah,
you choose? Part of Mirage.
I did post a ton for this Sifu one though. I did post a lot of shots for that competition.
Yeah.
The Path to Mirage, I just knew I was going to do some Basim stuff, so I just did a Basim portrait because that's what I like to do, and I chucked in a shot of his throwing knives. So I used the Valhalla Basim.
Yeah.
And then I finished off the set with a picture of the Hidden Ones Bureau in Origins.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And you create like that assassin vibe. It was cool though, seeing what other people see things differently. But I was like, that's what I'd pick for a Mirage theme. But other people did some really cool stuff.
I think that's the cool thing about competitions, isn't it? Is as much as we can cycle through our feeds of people we're following and gain inspiration from that, when it comes to a competition, so let's say the VP Awards that has various different categories, it's really interesting to look at that and everybody's interpretation.
Yeah, so different. But usually I
Exactly.
don't enter because I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough to win, so I won't bother.
I think I entered the same Gamora shot for like numerous categories, like 2 years on the trot.
Yeah,
Just
I
trying to
remember
get,
seeing it.
I'm trying to get that shot winning a competition somewhere. It's just not working.
Yeah, but it's difficult because like different people like different stuff, and this is why it's great having like on the VP articles we do having the guest judge and like having you guys part of the team with me because otherwise it's just me picking all the time and I would pick the style I like, but having
Yeah,
different people there, they pick completely different shots to what you'd expect.
yeah. So obviously you mentioned there about the guest judge. So for the people who don't know, there's various VP weekly themes ran in the Assassin's Creed VP community that the ones who came before run. Um, Aaron leads the team. Self, Jack, and Turid are in the team as well. And themes are picked. People get asked to be guest judges. I know you've invited me as a guest judge. Jack, Turid's been a guest judge. And I think recently Miranda from Ubisoft was a judge.
Yeah, Shauna this week.
Shauna this week, and I know you've had some news about another judge. I don't know if you're going to be able to share that with us or not. Who's going to be a judge in? Is it December?
Yeah, first week in December is going to be my last week involved in anything because I've hit my pinnacle. I'm going to retire and hand it over to you guys because Magnus Brun, their voice actor of Eivor, is going to run a week with us.
So, mate, that is awesome, and I bet he had such a nerdgasm when he came back saying, "I'll do it."
Yeah, I did. I think it's last Saturday. It was like a week ago, and he responded to me, and I was like, "What?"
The thing is, though, this is what is great about VP is, I mean, I know that you tag him in all of your Eivor shots.
Yeah, he's clearly not that irritated with me then.
So he's potentially just doing this to shut you up. I'm joking.
Probably right.
But the fact that they take the time to do that, and I know he likes your stuff. He's like some of mine, various. He likes other people's stuff. But I think as an actor portraying that character, seeing all these people loving that character is great. But the fact that they're giving back to us, he doesn't have to do that, does he? He doesn't have to manage a team or judge a team. I think that's really good. It's a really good achievement. I can understand why you're really chuffed with that. But you do realise that if he is judging it, you can't win.
No. This is the thing. Because I'm always doing these, I can never actually enter.
I'm going to dig into my archives and dig out some of my really cool Eivor shots.
I'll just be posting like, "Look at me, look at me." He's
Oh,
probably seen it all before.
Oh, mate, it's so cool, though. That's really cool.
But it's good, like a Basim voice actor. He's so good at interacting.
And he's streaming the game now as well, isn't he?
Yeah, it's really good to see. Like interacting with people's VP all the time is quite special.
And there's more and more of it now. I think Jim Pirry's commented on a couple of mine of Craven.
Yeah.
I think things as an artist, and I know the studio, we've talked about this before in interviews, the studios love seeing it and they regularly share around on their Slack and share around different VP shots. When people pour so much time and passion into these games, it's such a payoff to see people loving it and putting that VP out there, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely brilliant. So we touched on how you take your pictures, your go-to settings. Is post editing something you get involved with, or do you just use the in-game tools in your VP?
No, I quite often post edit, but not dramatically. If a shot doesn't look so good after I've taken it, I'll try and do a bits and pieces of it. But normally it's just like little things like the shadows and maybe if I haven't got the saturation quite right, or like the ambience and stuff like that. Especially because I do a lot of the black background ones as my portraits now. You can't quite get the full blackout on the game very often. I usually just get them in a, like the classic doorway trick.
Yeah.
And I get them walking through the doorway, get the sunlight on them, and then I'll be chucking in the VGNet to bring the darkness in, and then you just top it up on the post edit.
Yeah, I've got a lovely app that I'll have to share with you for black backgrounds.
Or like I don't have to bother doing all this work one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Spidey, when you can chuck the black background in there.
The app basically does that.
Yeah.
It does that. But then, it does that, but you still have to use your Vignetti and things to kind of soften it a bit. But yeah, no, it's really handy. I'll have to share with you.
Yeah, you do. Because I don't pay for any editing ones.
See,
I just use that bog standard.
I think the only one I pay for is Lightroom.
Yeah, I've never paid for Lightroom.
Because I mean, as much as I try to use the settings in a PM, whether it's I have delusions of perfection on the shot I want to get, and whatever I take in the game is not good enough, I always post edit, always. Some heavy, some light. So yeah, I think it wasn't expensive either. It's definitely worth it. If you want to experiment a bit more with post edit, I think Lightroom, especially if you do your edits on your mobile.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good.
You have to show me.
I'll show you, mate. Show you some tricks. So, besides VP, what other hobbies or interests do you have apart from getting your historical nerd on?
Don't have too many hobbies these days. I've got 2 kids, so that's all my time gone.
Breathing, that's a hobby.
Yeah, just getting 5 minutes to do this. I still go to the gym a little bit. It's good for the head, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do archery as well. I'm an archer.
You do archery?
Yeah, that's why I like spam the Aloy archery shots.
Oh, that's cool.
Horizon.
That is cool.
Yeah, I got bought it for Father's Day one year because I didn't realise that I live 5 minutes away from where they shoot archery in the village I live. So I went along and did it, came back, oh, this is amazing. And then the wife was like, oh, that's going to cost me a lot of money. So then I passed the course, got a bow. So yeah, I do some shooting now. I shoot Saturdays usually.
Oh man, that's awesome. Are you in one of these archery groups that has like the jackets as well with like your name on the back?
No, they keep trying to get me to have the team shirt, and I'm like, nah, I'm all right. I haven't entered any competitions. I don't really want to wear the stuff. I just kind of shoot for fun.
But things like archery is so cool, isn't it?
It's good. It's good. It like takes you away from everything. When you're just there shooting in the zone, you just don't think about anything. So it's good for a bit of headspace.
And do you have to go to a specific place, or have you got your bow and you go down the local forest, get someone to stand there with an apple and have a few goes?
Yeah, I get the kids to hold the stuff up for me. No, there's a field that is the club that I'm part of.
Yeah,
they have it every Saturday afternoon, so you can go down there and shoot without anyone else getting in the way.
Oh, it's really good, really good. I mean, there's a local one near me as well. I've had a couple of goes, but yeah, no, it sounds like a really interesting thing to get into because it's quite a skill as well, isn't it? It's not just pointing and shooting. You do have to.
Yeah, and you've got the different type bows that you can use. Like, it's so cool seeing people down there shoot the longbow, shooting at like ridiculous distances. I've never used the longbow. I don't think I'm good enough.
Yeah, that's stupid. Like you said, that's stupid distance, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's no aim on it. There's no it's just a piece of wood basically with a string on it.
It's just
crazy
trial and error, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, let's talk movies. What's your favourite movie, or what's your top 3 movies? Do you like movies?
I do have to again. I categorise it. Dark Knight trilogies first.
Yeah. Which one? Which one's your favourite?
Batman Begins.
No. How could
Everyone
you not?
always says Dark Knight, but I prefer Begins.
Dark
Pro,
Knight.
pro,
Dark Knight first, Begins second, and whatever the last one was called last.
Riders.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Begins is
really
like a proper
expensive.
Batman story, and I love the color tones in it, especially like at the end with the fear gas and everything.
Yeah, that was a brilliant trilogy, wasn't it? Absolutely
Yeah,
brilliant.
that's my favorite. And then probably the Daniel Craig James Bond movies are my second. Casino Royale specifically. I went to Royal Albert Hall and saw that.
Ah, cool, cool, cool.
And then third, I probably have to say Gladiator.
Oh,
Basically,
an
Hans Zimmer.
oldie. Don't even get me started on instrumental music. I love it.
Anything Hans Zimmer, and I'm gonna love it. Usually, I went to see him in concert twice.
I'm so jealous right now.
Yeah, I went to Bournemouth, I think, to see him, and it just blew me away so much that then we booked to go and see him again, and just so good.
Hans Zimmer. Who else? There's Hans Zimmer. John Barry. John Barry's really good. Craig Armstrong is another one.
Yeah,
Oh, I love instrumental music.
the guy who does. Yeah, I do. I spend all my day working listening to instrumental music every day while I'm working. I don't listen to any singing anymore. I just listen to instrumental. It helps me focus.
It's just so relaxing. I think, I mean, I'm the wrong side of 40, so you kind of start to appreciate things more, as sad as it sounds, for their beauty. And some of the music from Hans Zimmer and other people, you don't appreciate it when you're really, really young, do you?
No, no. So definitely when I started getting old, that I liked it.
If you're old, I must be ancient.
I'm not far off you.
I'm
What was it, like
42.
5 years between us?
I'm 42. So what are you? 30?
I'm going to be 36
You're
in
going to be
less than a month.
32. Oh, you're a baby. You're a baby. You wait till you hit 40 and everything starts hurting.
I've gone super grey since having kids as well. It's their fault.
But yeah, no, instrument music, love it, love it. And that's a good choice of top movies, man. Like that. I like that. So it's time for my favourite question. I love this question. It always makes me hungry. It is only 4 o'clock, but who cares? What is your favourite food, Aaron?
I was looking forward to this question, but every time I listen, everyone likes like exotic nice stuff. And then I'm like just classic British. I love a stew.
A stew.
Yeah, chuck some meat and some veg and some potatoes into a slow cooker and let that go all day. And then have it with a glass of wine in the evening.
Do you put the dumplings on top at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes, love it.
And it's perfect time of year for it now as well.
It is the perfect time of year. And I always feel old when I talk about my slow cooker, and I always bang on about it. It's amazing.
I
And
love a slow cook.
a stew, a beef stew this time of
Yeah,
year, a slow cooker, nice
perfect.
big dumplings. Oh, that sounds amazing. Really good. Oh, what we got kedgeree tonight. We're going for a bit of kedgeree. Haven't had that for a while.
What have I got tonight? Pie.
You,
Got pie
you got a
tonight.
Oh, very
Yeah.
nice, very nice.
I always request something nice because I've got to suffer strictly, so it needs to be something nice. So she lets me have a pie tonight.
Nice, nice. We every Saturday we just we call it our Saturday night tea because we're sad and old. But we just pick something out of a recipe book and we cook together on a Saturday night. The kids are in bed. It's just our little thing on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. I'll tell you what, people who are listening, drop in the comments what you're eating tonight, and I'll read it after. Let's see what people are eating tonight. See whether we're healthy or just really binging on unhealthy food. So
We're British. We're never healthy.
definitely not healthy. So back to VP. In April 2022, as part of an evolution of VP representation from the ones who came before, you and Cole set up the ever-growing The Ones Who Came Before Assassin's Creed VP community. It's now sitting at over a cool 755 members. What do you feel this community does for ACVP, and why would you encourage VPs to join and get involved?
It's such a good question, especially with the community part of it, because I love the community part of it. But
Mm.
when is it Koala did I think it's Koala's one that he did with you. He was saying he wasn't 100% convinced by them, and I could see his point of view on it as well. But I also think that they're great places for people who are new to VP. It's a little bit more protected because being out there in the wild, when you first start joining, you're posting shots, you get like one like.
Yeah.
No one sees it, but in there you can get some focused attention on you because it's a smaller amount of people.
Yeah.
And it's a good way of getting you in, embedded in, and you can learn from the people in there. Like I always post in there, just so people can see it, and hopefully it helps them, and they can ask questions.
And it's like-minded people as well, isn't it? You know, take the Assassin's Creed one. You know, if you like Assassin's Creed, everybody there likes Assassin's Creed. So whether you post your shots, start a conversation, it's mutual likes of things, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like for the articles, it's a dream because you can just put all the photos in there, easy to find, especially if you had hashtags, Jack. And then, but then also I was chatting to, I spoke to Philip because if you can put a shot in there that you're not sure about.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if I want to post this because I'm not sure it's good enough. Chuck it in the community, see what people think of it. And if it's good, then you can go for it on your main account.
Ah, good point. And if it's not, it gets on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, bin it off. But that's what I think is good for that as well. Especially if you're not more established than that and you don't want to, and you're not new anymore, you can use it for that as well.
Definitely. And
there's always people in there asking questions. Like there's other VP ones as well, and they're like, you've got a Photomode, we've got one.
Yep.
And Sean has got one. Yeah, and there's people in there sometimes asking questions. And I dip in and out of all those three of them. And if I see a question, I'll help if I can.
It's kind of like, you know, it's no different to like companies or devs or games having Discord, is it?
No. And there's people in there. We've got Ubisoft community managers now. We've got the Ubisoft newsroom constantly interacting there every week. So they're in there, they're looking as well.
So basically, if you love Assassin's Creed and you love virtual photography, get in this community. Obviously, you need to get in the Photomode community first, and then the Assassin's Creed one. But get in both the communities. They're brilliant on our.
Yeah, I think they're really useful.
Definitely, mate. So we've got three or four questions left. So I'm going to say now to anybody listening live, if you've got a question you want to ask Aaron live, pop in a speak request. Once we've done the next 3 or 4 questions, we'll come to anybody who's got a live question. So get your speak requests in and we'll speak to you in a bit. So you've obviously been doing VP a while, dabbling from 2014, getting fully into it with Valhalla. What would you say has been your highlight from your VP journey so far, not including Eivor being a judge, because that's a new thing?
I think my highlight probably is like joining AC First Civ.
Yeah.
And also when Jack asked me if I would have a section in TPM.
We haven't even mentioned that, have we?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Jack asked me to do that, it was quite an honour because I love TPM. So to get a little section for AC First Civ in there with a few of the bits I've written for people's shots was actually quite cool. So I just ping them over to him each month and then he puts them in.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and of course it helps because he loves AC himself, doesn't he?
Exactly. Well, he loves the pots in AC.
Yeah.
He likes the pottery. Bless him. No, he does love AC. He absolutely loves AC. How salty did you think you'd be when Assassin's Creed posted those things on Instagram? My shot was first and his was second.
Not as salty as me.
Yeah, I know your shot wasn't even there.
No.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I reckon he would have been, yeah. It'd been even better if it was one of the ones that you copied him with.
Bless it. We love you, Jack. We love you. So we've also got a question from Malin. So if you had unlimited time to spend on VP, so forget that you're a dad, forget that we only get a couple of hours to play on games. If you had unlimited time to spend on VP, what would you do? What would be your dream project?
probably what I do now with the story elements, but better. So I'd be able to go along and like take the shots and then look at them on my phone as I do it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so you take your shots kind of in the progress you're playing the game, and then that tells the story.
Yeah, so like now I take shots and then I'll finish on the game, go to bed, and then next morning I'll look at them, and then if you've messed one of them up, you've lost your moment, haven't you? Because
Yeah,
you've already taken the shot and you've moved on.
yeah.
So yeah, if I had all the time in the world, I would play the game, take the shot, and then look at it on my phone as I do it, so I can
So
make sure.
so this is where the really cool new feature of PMs comes in, and we touched on this. I think it was last week with no, it wasn't last week. I think I think it was with Cynthia when we were talking about Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, it was last
So,
week, wasn't it?
yeah, so their new feature is when you're in the photo mode and you set up your picture, you can save that as a 3D rendered image, and at any time you can go back into that 3D rendered image, move around, change the composition, change the angle. So what you're saying there, you can do that for every shot you save as a 3D rendered image. I can't
Yeah,
remember how many you can save, but it's such a cool feature.
yeah,
And for what you're saying there, that would be brilliant.
yeah. Like even the little bit they added in Jedi where you could just save your where you are with the camera, then you can
Yeah,
go mess around with the lights, and then you can just snap back to it. Even that was brilliant.
exactly. We want all these things to be standard PMs, don't we?
Yeah,
All these
definitely.
really good things. Now, that would be really cool to just have that journey throughout a game, because obviously on Twitter you can't. I suppose. I mean, Druid's put in a request to speak, so we'll speak to her in a minute. But she kind of does that where she posts a picture and then posts other shots as a reply. So you kind of get that
Yeah, like a feed.
a feed of pictures, don't you?
Yeah,
So yeah, it'd be really good to be able to somewhere just post where you can just have that cycle and just cycle through them and get that picture come through. So we've got, this is normally the last question. Nico also asked a serious question, not about sunglasses. So I'm going to use his version of the question today. So obviously you're a guru now, with your portraits, Assassin's Creed VP and everything. So what valuable advice do you have for any newcomers or even, non-newcomers in VP? What valuable advice would you give them?
I don't know if I could teach you old guys anything.
Who are you calling
Um,
old?
not the ones that have been around for God knows how long. Um, I think that just getting yourself out there and speaking to people is key. That's how you learn, by seeing people's shots and interacting, and not being afraid to ask people questions, because most people are helpful.
Yeah.
But then if they're not, then don't worry if someone says no. Just move on. There's always people willing to help, and that's where it comes in about the community side of it. Like, you know that place is a safer place rather than the wild of feeds.
Yeah, so maybe if you're not as confident to go, drop into someone's DMs and ask a question, asking an open question in a community, I feel a bit more comfortable doing that.
Yeah, like loads of people have helped me along the way. I've dropped DMs too, and they've helped me with stuff. Like
I
when
think that's
I'd recently joined the Ubisoft Creators Program, but I only went for that initially because I chatted to Troy.
yeah.
Because not many people got into it in the UK, did they? That weren't like Twitch streamers and stuff like that.
So how
But
do you apply? How do
in
you get into it as a virtual photographer, Aaron?
in Australia, they just let them in, don't they?
Yeah.
But
There's no
over here, they
rules in
didn't. So
Australia.
I just tried. I kept going
Yeah.
and giving it a go, and they kept rejecting me. And then eventually, they said, "I'm fed up with you now.
Yeah.
Come on in."
Yeah. Now we've got 500 emails from you.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
just say
still
yes and
difficult because
turn up.
they still want you to put your Twitch channel on. So I've got a Twitch channel. Don't really use it that too much though. But they obviously look at your secondaries.
Yeah.
Then I'll put my Twitter on there as my secondary, and they obviously looked at it.
Mm. So what benefits do you get then from being part of the creator program? What benefits have you seen?
I haven't really looked at it too much yet. So when I joined, I'd only joined when on the day Mirage was released.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember you
And,
saying.
yeah, and there wasn't much. There's not much in there for me to look at right now because they've just gone through that phase of new releases. So yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't looked into it what I can do yet, but I'm sure next year there'll be more stuff for me to do.
definitely,
I
definitely.
did
But
all
no,
my profile and I've put all my info in there, so now I guess it's just see what comes.
see what happens, mate. See what happens. But no, that sound advice. Obviously, we've mentioned it loads of time on here. I think everybody has that same piece of advice: is talk to people. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid of rejection. We're all friendly people. We're
I,
all here to help. We're a community, aren't we? And I think the VP community is probably the friendliest community I've ever been a part of.
yeah,
Um,
and and don't be
so
worried about your growth as well. Like some people do it super fast, it just happens, and then some people it's slower. Like I've been doing this out years, and I've only just hit 1K now.
exactly, exactly.
I don't really care. Just let it grow. It'll grow. Just be patient and remember that you're here because you enjoy playing games and having fun. VP is just a bonus on top.
Exactly. You've got to love it, and that's the thing to focus on. If you
Yeah.
love it, it will come eventually. So we have got some requests for live questions.
Oh no, they're the hard ones.
I don't
I
know.
thought I'd get away with this.
Okay, who should we go for first? I'll tell you what, we're gonna go for Yusuf first. Well, just to prove your request, Yusuf. So let's get you on. Yusuf, can you hear us?
Oh, hi. Yes,
How
Hello.
you doing?
I'm doing all right. There is a slight delay between the uh, when you're talking and when I'm listening to myself. There is a bit of a slight delay, but thank you very much for accepting my request. I didn't think that I would be accepted. Thank you very much for that.
Oh, that's okay. What's your question for Aaron?
Aaron, first thing that I would like to say, it's lovely talking to you in person, and I would love to thank you first of all because your portraits have reignited my love for portraits again. I look at your portraits for Eivor, and I see so much details that me while playing the game. I would love to pause every single time for the lighting is perfect. I would like to take a portrait just to compare it like yours. And
Thank you.
you're very welcome. And when I see such skill, like details in such a portrait, because you wanted to make it alive, you mentioned that when you try to take landscapes or something other than portraits, it's not really going to be your, let's say, your cup of tea. Can I know, for example, is it some sort of because it's not your style, or is maybe some sort of the editing is not going to be as much specific as in portraits, or portraits are going to be much harder to deal with and you like the challenge? Can you please help me on that, because I would like to improve on that front as well, and you are an expert in portraits.
Well, in terms of like how the portrait's easier for me.
Mm-hmm. So the portraits are much easier than a landscape, for example, like the details.
Yeah, yeah, but I think it's only because I've done them so long.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've done so many, and like because I do so many Eivor portraits, I'm just so used to it now. I can get the position on it,
Yeah.
how I want it quite easily. I've got my favorite places I go to
Mm-hmm.
on the map to get the certain shots, like especially the blacked out background ones.
Oh wow. Oh yeah.
Um, there's specific locations you can go to on the game where you know you're going to get sun. This is where the Discovery Tour is nice as well
Mm-hmm.
for that sort of shot because you don't get the change in day-night cycle.
Of course, yes, I understand.
So you get this, you know, the sun's going to hit the entrance of a certain area
Yes.
all the time while you're there. You haven't got to worry
Yeah.
about cloud cover coming over,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how I work getting the portraits that I want of the specific characters.
And they are perfect. And they are perfect. And again, thank you very, very much for such. I don't know what to say. I only wanted to post portraits after I've seen yours. And
I was the same with Dave.
and Dave is a master as well. We cannot ignore Dave because Dave is a master as well. And thank you very, very much both for sharing your expertise and for this lovely interview. I'm really, really enjoying it. And thank you very much for accepting my request as well. I thank you.
Thank you very much. And I've been enjoying your portraits as well in the community.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Yusuf, and thanks for the compliments on both Aaron's and my portraits. And I suppose,
No worries.
like Aaron's saying how he sets it up, and I think, if that's the style you want to go down, it's just practice, practice, practice. And
Definitely.
if there are people that you do admire from that point of view, reach out. Myself and Aaron, I'm obviously speaking for you as well, Aaron. If you want to ask any questions, by all means ask those questions. We've only got to where we are by practicing and maybe asking the questions that you want to ask us. So if you need any advice, any tips, or you want to ask any questions, don't be afraid to reach out.
I've got a few people that I generally, if I'm unsure, I'll ping them the shot and say, what do you think of this?
And then we generally say it's rubbish, don't post it.
Yeah. And then I put it in the community and ask my friends instead.
I'm only joking. But no, thanks for that, Yusuf. So next we have now, so let's go with, we got Turid next. Where are you, Turid? Let's approve your request.
Uh-oh.
Here comes trouble. Turid, can you hear us? That's the quietest you've been. Turid, are you there? You might be on mute. You might need to press your mic button.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. First of all, Aaron, you did great. I just wanted to tell you that. Because I was so kind of nervous in the beginning, but you did really good. And before I ask my question, I wanted to say I think I speak in the name of the ones who came before community. Thank you for all you do. Like the weekly articles are really my highlight on Tuesdays or whenever they come. And it's really such a pleasure to work with you. And yeah, I found so many new friends and mutuals since I joined the community, and it's just great to be a part of it. I really love working with you all.
We love having you.
Before we start crying, here comes my question.
Oh, I thought you just come to be nice to me.
You can't believe I'm nice. And I'm sorry, I still don't have a Norse accent.
Yeah, disappointing.
I'm practicing for future interviews. So I wanted to ask two things. First, what is a milestone that you look forward to or that you want to achieve until the end of the year or within the next year? Like a follower count or, yeah, a follow from a studio or something. And the second is, I think Dave kind of mentioned it before, but do you plan on starting streaming maybe next year on Twitch? And if yes, with which game apart from Assassin's Creed would you probably start? That's it.
Ooh, if I was going to stream a game, maybe I'd stream Ghost of Tsushima because I want to play it again. And it can't be that long away till there's another one. I don't know if I'll do Twitch streaming though. People will get bored with my gameplay. I'm so slow because I'm sucking in all the story and taking shots as I go. I might be a bit too slow.
I don't know.
I can't be worse than Jack though.
I don't know. Jack's a bit more snappier than me.
I was just about to say the same thing.
I don't know. Maybe I'll start doing one, and then you can see if I'm better than Jack.
The thing
I haven't got any pets to chuck at you, so.
I think the thing with Jack, and if you did start doing it, it's more about not just playing; it's the VP as well, isn't it? How you get your shots in it. You play the story. You don't need to be like a all singing or dancing streamer and like really confident or anything like that. You just got to be you. And I think that's why, with Jack's streams, I've only managed to get on a couple, but why there's a certain group of people who always go on his streams is it's the person who's streaming. It's not necessarily how you play the game. it's the interaction. It's, Jack's a nice guy. So I'm sure if you've done it, it'll be the same, mate. People respect you. They look up to you with VP and bits and pieces. So, I don't think you have to be a really fast or really like out there cool gamer. Just got to be yourself, man.
And as for followers, I don't know. I don't know if I really have any aspirations on someone to follow me. I've never really had a goal on that so much. It's really nice when I hit milestones or certain people follow me, but I don't really look for anyone to follow me.
Don't lie. You want Magnus to follow you.
Yeah, I would love Magnus to follow me, but I think to myself, why would he follow me? He doesn't want. He already gets berated by me for me tagging him, and he probably doesn't even doesn't want to see VP every day, unlike me.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah. So yeah, it'd be cool if he did, but yeah.
Cool. Thanks for the questions, Stuart. We've got another request. We have a request from Sun OG.
Oh,
I'm expecting some epic Spider-Man VP tips now, man.
yeah.
I'm going to approve your request.
The original Spider-Man. Here he comes.
Here he comes. Sun, can you hear us? This is where the technical difficulties kick in.
Here we go. We're good. We're straight.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hello. Also, before I start, I just want to say, my boy's famous. Oh my gosh! You got fans. This is so cool.
So
It's
cool.
good to hear you.
Yeah, you too, bro. But I do got my question. So, sir, if you could combine any two photo modes at all and make them just, one, obviously, go ahead. Which one would it be? Or two, I guess.
Oh, probably the best photo modes out there are Spidey and maybe Horizon.
Okay. Would those be your ones that you want, though?
But no, so probably not. So I love the AC photo mode. I love because it's not the best.
Okay.
But it's a good starting point, and it's really good to help you learn.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I'd mix AC with Spidey.
You made a very good choice on the second part, but anyway,
But yeah, it's only. But I'm playing Spidey now, and you've been helping me with a couple of bits, haven't you?
That's what I'm talking about. He's so good.
So yeah, I'm trying to get better at Spidey. I'm still waiting for your stream so I can learn more.
Oh yeah, I do got it. We're not talking about me. We're talking about you. Anyway, I'm glad that you answered my question. Appreciate you.
While you're on, Sun, though, we are going to talk about you because I just want to say, we mentioned it in this interview.
Wait,
mentioned
whoa, for what? This is his spot.
No. It is his spot. It is his spot. But all I'm going to say, and we've both mentioned it, me and Aaron, on this interview, of how helpful it is with people doing videos of how they set up a shot.
True.
So
I understand.
Keep doing that, man. It's especially with Spidey.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because it's really interesting to see how you set up your shots.
You got to make it a bit slower for this old people, though.
Yeah, I do have the original one, so I'll send it to you eventually, bro. I just got to get back into things. But yeah, I definitely will keep it up. I got you guys.
Cool. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, mate.
All right. Appreciate you.
Aaron, there we go. We're done. There was no need to be nervous. You were amazing. Really good to speak to you. Really good to hear all the good things that you're doing, not just with the ones you're going before and the articles, but with VP and everything. Really interesting, mate. Really good to get to know you a little better. Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, I've really enjoyed it. It's been good fun.
Good. So thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for everybody who's tuned in. Thanks to everybody who's jumped on and asked a question.
Yeah,
we'll get the interview up on our YouTube tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Enjoy your pie.
I will.
And we'll catch up with you soon.
Yep. See you later. Thank you.
Later. Bye, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.